Hi and welcome to Intuitive Insights. If you're new to this channel, this is a channel where we talk about everything to do with the Ascension process that we're experiencing on Earth right now as we move into a higher level of consciousness and that great remembering process of coming back to who we truly are as spiritual beings. So on this channel, we talk about the different energies that are present at any given time to help everybody navigate those energies a little more smoothly and a little more gracefully. It really helps if you can kind of understand what's happening and put that into perspective. It takes away some of the fear and the uncertainty, and I think in these times that can be really helpful for people. Now today we're going to be talking about the Aries new moon, which is happening on March 24th, 2020. This is very exciting, and we're going to be doing this video in two different parts today just to try something new. So first I'm going to talk about the astrology, and then I'm going to put out a second video where I pull an oracle card spread or two, and we sort of go with what it is that Spirit's trying to tell us that way. And I thought this would be interesting because I know my videos can be pretty long sometimes, and so for people who just want like a quick 20-minute video on one or the other and want to maybe save the other for another time, this is going to help, just kind of help you do that and pick and choose what it is that you find the most interesting. Now, this is a really exciting and dynamic time. As you can see, I'm decked out in my red for Aries. Aries is that Mars energy, that red energy. It's that ambition, it's that drive, it's that kind of go-getter, that bold, fierce kind of energy. And I think that this is a really helpful energy for us to be coming into, because in a lot of ways, I think people have been feeling really confused and really disempowered. And that's what this new moon is all about. It's about empowerment. It's about stepping back into our power and our confidence, and that I am energy, that knowing of ourselves as these limitless spiritual beings having this human experience that we get to co-create with Spirit. Knowing that we are the creators of our reality, and seeing and really getting insight into the ways that we can be that creator, that conscious creator. Now, it's been a pretty interesting week. We had a lot of big things happen last week. We had the vernal equinox on the 19th, which is the official start of spring. We also had, of course, the sun moving into Aries on the 21st, which is the kickoff or the start of the zodiac new year. Of course, Aries being the first sign of the zodiac, the pioneering, that first initial spark of life. And so, yeah, we had that, and we also had Saturn moving into Aquarius on the 22nd, which was a big deal. If you haven't seen it, I definitely recommend you check out my video on Pluto and Saturn, and sort of it explains how they're still working together to initiate the great changes that we see happening in our world right now, and just how those energies are going to progress, and helps to bring some perspective to a lot of the chaos that we're seeing right now in the world. So that video is definitely worth checking out. But yeah, so we are in this season of freshness and newness. It's the new moon is a time of manifestation. It's a time where we get to plant those seeds that we want to plant for the future. And with all of this fresh spring new energy in the air, it's sort of almost like we're setting the intentions for this entire new cycle that we're beginning. From now until, I hate, as we know, time is an illusion, so I hate judging anything by time. So I don't like to say from now until March 2021. I want to say for this next huge cycle of growth, this is where we get to plant those seeds. So I almost said circles. That's interesting. These seeds, we get to decide, like, who do I want to be? How do I want to show up in the world? What is it that I want? What is it that I am going to manifest, that I am manifesting, that has already manifested for me in another reality? Because remember, everything does already exist. It's just merging those timelines and bringing it into our current reality. And so we have a lot of energy available to do that right now. But first and foremost, we have a lot of energies present that are helping to show us where it is that we're not able to fully step into our power, what it is that's blocking us from stepping into this sense of confidence. I think it's really interesting. One thing about Aries is that Aries is the sign fearlessness, but it's not, or it's the sign of courage. Okay, that's how I want to say it. It's the sign of courage. And courage does not mean that you're not afraid. What courage means is that even in the face of fear, we persevere and we don't allow that fear to cripple us. We move forward even through our fears. We walk and we step through those fears and we transcend those limitations. That's what Aries energy is all about. And I think that's really important with everything that's going on in the world right now. We're being shown everywhere that we're not able to fully step into our authenticity and feel and believe that we are capable of creating the change that we want to see in our lives and in the world. And we have a few different energies that are supporting us in understanding and revealing those things about ourselves right now. Now, we'll start with the sun and the moon, because obviously a new moon is, or maybe not obviously, but a new moon is all about that. It's about, the moon and the sun are conjunct. They're meeting in the sky. So we have the masculine and the feminine, the logic and the intuition, sort of melding and meeting together. And they're doing this in that forward thinking, forward moving, bold, sometimes a little bit quick to jump the gun. Aries energy can be a little bit unstable in that it can think before acting. So we definitely want to avoid, I think actually with everything going on in the world right now, we're being forced to think before we act, because there's a lot of ways where we're feeling maybe a little bit held back or repressed. And that's definitely plays into the astrological lineup that we have going on right now as well, with the sun and the moon. So they are together in the sky, and they are being joined in conjunction by Chiron and Black Moon Lilith. And so I've talked about this a little bit in previous videos. Chiron and Black Moon Lilith have been conjunct for a little while now. And so Chiron is the wounded healer. It's the planet that, it's not a planet. It's the astrological body that helps to reveal to us our deepest wounds, so that we can heal from those, and that also use what we've learned from that experience and use that healing to help heal others and to find our deepest gifts. It's, the wounds that bring us more closely to the light and show us a path forward and help show us a purpose. So it's, this really beautiful, beautiful healing energy that we experience from Chiron. And when Chiron is conjunct to any planet or in any part of our chart, we're going to see and feel that healing in that area. And so that's obviously a great thing, but it can be a little bit scary, because those wounds have to be revealed so that they can be healed. And it's a really interesting that it's been conjunct Black Moon Lilith, because Black Moon Lilith is the aspect of the feminine that has been repressed and suppressed. And so we're looking at all those wounds around the feminine and how she has felt subjugated and held down and unable to, felt as though she was being prevented from standing in her full authenticity and her full power. And so we've had a healing of that energy going on for quite a while now. And a lot of it, except when it's been making specific aspects to different planets, I think a lot of it for a lot of us has been a subconscious process that's going on, that we've maybe only noticed when we've been triggered by something that brings up one of those wounds to the conscious mind. And so now with the conscious and the subconscious, the sun and the moon being conjunct this energy, we are seeing and understanding some of those wounds, or we're also being able to deeply feel them, which means if we can deeply feel them, we can deeply heal them. So this is a beautiful process that's going on right now. It's a process that's going on for men as well as women. It's, these are energies. We all contain a masculine and a feminine essence within ourselves. And so the goal is to balance out those two energies so that they flow in harmony with each other and support each other. And so we have the male positively charged, sort of like go out there, take action kind of energy, and then we have that negatively charged receptive feminine energy that's like the intuition and the flow, and so these two forces, we want to learn to harmonize within ourselves. The point of that being that they both exist within us. So men as well as women are feeling these energies in some ways, and we're helping to even them out and balance them out within ourselves and for the collective right now. yeah, so that's a lovely energy to be sort of almost, I feel this is sort of a climactic moment for that energy as far as being able to heal that. And as far as the feminine aspect of ourselves being able to step into their full power. You know, the feminine power is the power of creation. It's the power of inspiration. It's the, you know, the great idea that the masculine energy then carries forth and carries out into the world. And so it's the feminine having confidence. And when I say the feminine, I mean the aspect of all of us having confidence in itself, feeling strong in herself and able to voice her truth and to share all of this inspiration and to share these thoughts and these desires and these dreams that come up from within in order so that they can be actualized. And so really being empowered in that part of our energy that has been disempowered for such a long time. And it's a really beautiful time to be able to get in touch with that energy because the planet needs that right now. The planet needs the healing that healed feminine energy can bring. We need to be able to take action, but from that point of intuition and that point of emotion and feeling and empathy and being connected with each other and being connected with the planet. And knowing that in order to move forward with whatever world we're building together from this point, because make no mistake, we are in the process of building and creating and anchoring in the new earth, that 5-dimensional energy, that 5-dimensional grid. And so doing that from that place of the healed feminine, bringing that feminine energy back into the equation, which for so long has been run very much on masculine energy. And that's not to say anything wrong with masculine energy. Masculine and feminine energies are just two different polarities. They both are beautiful when they're expressed in their divine and sacred nature. In order for them to be expressed in this nature, they need to be balanced. They need each other. They need that perfect give and take and flow between the two. And there is no such thing as divine, sacred, masculine energy without the balance of the feminine and vice versa. And so whenever I talk about these things, I'm not saying that masculine energy is bad. I'm just saying that this planet as a whole and the way we've structured our systems and so many things about the way that we do things and the reasons underneath that have been created from a place of masculine energy that did not have that balance of the feminine. And so when one energy does not have the balance of the other, it becomes distorted in the way that it's expressed. And so masculine energy goes from being this strong sort of energy that holds the feminine and moves forward with this passion and this purpose, but in a way that's benevolent and calm and just clear, like that strength. It's when I talk about the strength of the masculine energy, when it's in its divine and sacred expression, I think of the phrase like a lion never needs to tell you that it's a lion. And that's that masculine energy. It's not trying to overpower and conquer and dominate just to show that it can, because there's no insecurity around that. It knows its strength and he knows his full power, and he exerts that in a way that is responsible, with integrity, that is kind. And so that's the energy that we're wanting to move into. The masculine energy that's been controlling this planet for a long time has been that more distorted energy where it's about conquest, it's about control, it's about survival. It's about, in order for me to have enough, I have to take from you. Or in order for me to feel powerful, I have to dominate you. And so that kind of energy is slipping away. And part of what's helping that to happen is this reclaiming of the divine, empowered feminine energy. So that's a really, really big energy that we're working through. And the way that we can see that manifesting in our own lives is through us feeling more empowered in those softer ways, feeling as though it's okay for us to show our nurturing side, but we're learning how to do that in a balanced way where we're not allowing people to walk all over us. We're learning that it's okay to stand up and voice our truth. We're learning that it's okay to, express ourselves, express our sexuality, express all these different aspects of who we are. And yeah, that's pretty cool. I think it's really a beautiful process, and we're going to have ebbs and flows as we step into that power. We're going to have ebbs and flows as we go through all of this. There's a lot of that when I was looking at the chart and I was sort of feeling it out. I had this impression of this constriction and expansion, and how everything, we're contracting and expanding right now as we're growing. And so what that looks like is our minds are sort of widening and we're becoming open to these different perspectives, and we're letting go of all these old belief systems. But then we're coming back in and we're sort of trying to cling back onto them again because it feels safe. And then we're letting go, and then we're clinging back on, and then we're letting go. So we're stepping in and out of these different expressions of who we are and finding what feels the most comfortable and what fits. And so that's an energy that we're moving through right now as we're trying to find this new definition of who we are. And another energy and a planetary aspect that's going on right now that's assisting with this process of us stepping into our power and our confidence is what's happening right now between Pluto, Jupiter, and Mars. And I talked about this a little bit in my Pluto and Saturn video. But essentially, we have them all within a few degrees of each other, exactly conjunct at different times. It's interesting, I actually just learned today that Jupiter and Pluto are going to be conjunct 3 times throughout the year. And 3 is the number of the Trinity, of course, and the mind, body, spirit. If you look, we've done, we did a 3-3 portal video. We've talked about the significance of numbers and stuff like that a lot. So I think it's really fascinating that it's 3 times that energy is going to be happening. And I'll probably be doing a separate video on that. But yeah, so that's happening, and Mars is also entering into this conversation. And so what this means is that it's a recalibration of that masculine energy, right? Because Mars is that masculine energy. It's the planet that rules Aries as well. So this being the Aries new moon, what's going on with Mars is very significant. And so Mars is entering into this conversation that's also happening with Pluto and Jupiter. And so Pluto, being the most powerful, the slowest moving, the planet of power, Pluto's energy is just sort of radiating out and influencing and transforming Jupiter and then Mars. And so we're looking at a transformation of our belief systems around our ability to take action in the world, our ability to make the things happen, because that's what Mars is about, right? It's about how do I constructively move forward in the world and make things happen? How do I create my reality? It's about our ambition. It's about our drive. It's about all of that. And so Jupiter is in the sign of Capricorn, which is they're all in the sign of Capricorn because they're conjunct. But Jupiter specifically, when we're talking about this, in the sign of Capricorn, is realistic. Jupiter is the planet of expansion. It's very jovial. It's very benevolent. It's, positive to the point of sometimes being overly idealistic and not very logical. However, in the sign of Capricorn, Jupiter is a bit more stabilized. And so we're having this expansive look and seeing where we need to transform ourselves. What are the blocks that are holding us back from being able to realize our ambition? Do we feel confident in our capabilities? And if we don't, what is it that we need to do? What steps do we need to take to become more confident in ourselves and our ability to assert ourselves in the world? How are we doing that? How are we asserting ourselves in the world? What's motivating us? And can we kind of expand upon that and look, are we being motivated by fear, or are we being motivated by a higher energy and a higher purpose? And if we are interested in that, can we open ourselves up to that a little more and imagine what that might look like? And so, yeah, Pluto is showing us all of our blocks in these areas, all of our blocks when it comes to faith, when it comes to faith in self and faith in capability. And if we really look at those things, then we can sort through those and we can release what doesn't serve us, what of those beliefs doesn't serve us anymore. And we can move into a deeper sense of confidence in ourselves. And yeah, that's pretty much what's going on with that energy. It's intense. It can feel a little bit heavy at times if there's a lot of stuff that we're working through. It's bringing up a lot of issues. There are blocks to abundance that are coming up, blocks to safety, like, do I feel safe? Do I feel secure? All of this stuff is being shown to us. Where do I feel that I'm not taken care of? And there can be this feeling sometimes like we have to do everything ourselves. And so Jupiter is entering into this, and also Pluto, and asking us, like, can we open our minds also to the fact that there is something even higher supporting us, that we're not alone in this journey? Can we draw on the strength from that and bring that into our daily actions? And that is, I think, a really important question to sort of ponder. Like, how can I bring spirituality into my daily life? How can I revise the way that I look at the world and the way that I move in the world in a way that resonates with me on a soul level, and that takes into account not just my own personal needs, but the needs of those around me? Aries energy can sometimes have a hard time doing that. It can tend to be a little bit self-focused. And so we are being asked to kind of like open that up a little bit and look at the bigger picture. With everything that's going on in the world right now, we have to look at the fact that we are so connected. There's no way to sort of stick our heads in the sand and pretend that that's not a fact. It's very clear that we're all in this together, and our actions affect everyone around us. So how can we revise sort of the game plan if we've been acting from a place of fear and a place of scarcity and a place of like every man for himself, and sort of integrate a different energy into that? And are we looking at things and coming from that place of like, if I give to you, I have less for me? Or are we understanding and anchoring into that abundance consciousness, which is that true Jupiterian energy, which says like the universe is bountiful and plentiful and there's enough for everyone, and the more we give, the more we receive? Because that is the ultimate truth, is the more we give, the more we receive. And when we give from a place of love and a place of compassion. And we give because it's a true aspiration of our heart to help and see another succeed, and to see abundance shared. And the more we learn to share abundance, the more abundance will multiply in the world around us. So it's a really great opportunity to look at all of those different things. And I think those are the two main energies of the new moon, which are really, if you think about it and what they're showing us and helping us to do, it's the same energy. It's that energy of building that strong foundation in ourselves, knowing that we are enough, knowing that our voice matters, that our needs matter, as do the needs of all those around us, knowing that we can create any future that we wish, individually and collectively, if there is any such thing as individually, since we are all collective, but you know what I mean. So yeah, it's that energy of really deciding what it is that we want to create, and like deciding upon that creation based on a sense of faith in ourselves and the universe, and just a sense of trust that like your greatest dreams are possible. This is not a time to limit ourselves and to create, try to manifest and create a future for ourselves based on our past perceived limitations. Because this energy is all about moving us beyond those limitations into a grander expression and understanding of ourselves. We are so much more than we often give ourselves credit for. And it's time for us to really embrace that and to step into our power and to know that we can move forward even if we're feeling afraid. Fear is simply a lack of faith, and the more we work on that faith, the less afraid we become. There is nothing to fear. We are eternal spiritual beings, and we have been given all the tools that we need to navigate absolutely every situation. It's just being able to identify those tools and refine those tools and know which tools to use and when. And how we do that is by connecting in with our intuition, connecting with our higher selves, and allowing that to guide us. So right now, I would say is just a time to really step into that. Just imagine what it would feel like to be someone who was not afraid. To be someone who, imagine, I'm remembering a quote right now that I saw it posted somewhere once. Somebody wrote it on a little sticky note and stuck it on the street or something. And I kept it on my dresser for a really long time as a reminder because I loved it so much. It said, what would you do if you believed that you could not fail? And so that's what this energy is asking you. What would you do if you believed that you could not fail? And that is truly the aspiration of your soul, and that is absolutely achievable. Anything is absolutely achievable if we have the belief that it's possible. If we don't believe that it's possible, it's not. But if we do allow ourselves to believe that and to imagine and to get into the feeling of what that would be, as if it already is, that's how we begin to open the floodgates of manifestation. And so I think that concludes the discussion piece of the new moon in Aries. Please also check out the Oracle card reading, where I'm going to be getting into what Spirit has to say through the cards regarding just any advice, any spiritual lessons that we're learning, different stuff like that. So definitely check that out as well. If you enjoy these videos, please like, please subscribe, please leave any comments. I'd love to hear your feedback. I'd love to hear about any other videos that you're interested in. And Kayla will be back soon. In the meantime, I'm just going to be here holding it down for you guys, continuing to give you the updates and discuss the energies. So I will see you in the Oracle card reading. All right.